Varadhari Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Gopi Janna Vallabha Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Giri Varadhari Shodanandana Bhraja Jana Ranjana Shodanandana Bhraja Jana Ranjana Munatira Vanachari Munatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Giri Varadhari Shodanandana Bhraja Jana Ranjana Shodanandana Bhraja Jana Ranjana Munatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 24, entitled The Renunciation of Kardama Muni, verse 40. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Matra Adhyatmikam Vidyam Shamanim Sarvakarmanam Vittarishyeya Chaso Bhayanchati Tarishyate. Matra Ajatmikam Vidyam Shamanim Sarvakarmanam Vittarishyeya Chaso Bhayanchati Tarishyate. Sarvakarmanam Seyata Chasom Mayasanti Tarishyate. Matajis Matyana Kim Vidyam Chasom Anjata Tarishyate. Trajana Kim Vidyam Anjasom Anjata Tarishyate. Word by word, Matre, to my mother, Adhyatmikam, which opens the door of spiritual life, Vidyam, knowledge, Shamanim, ending, Sarvakarmanam, all fruitive activities, Vittarishya, I shall give, Yaya, by which, Cha, also, Aso, she, Bhayam, fear, Cha, also, Atitarishyati, will overcome. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I shall also describe this sublime knowledge, which is the door to spiritual life, to my mother, so that she can attain perfection and self-realization, ending all reactions to fruitive activities. Thus, she also will be freed from all material failure. Purport. Kardama Muni was anxious about his good wife Devahuti while leaving home, and so the Virti son promised that not only would Kardama Muni be freed from the material entanglement, but Devahuti would also be freed by receiving instruction from her son. A very good example is set here. The husband goes away, taking the sannyas order for self-realization. But his representative, the son, who is equally educated, remains at home to deliver the mother. A sannyasi is not supposed to take his wives with him. At the vanaprastha stage of retired life, or the stage midway between householder life and renounced life, one may keep his wife as an assistant without sex relations. But in the sannyas order of life, one cannot keep his wife with him. Otherwise, a person like Kardama Muni could have kept his wife with him, and there would have been no hindrance to his prosecution of self-realization. Kardama Muni followed the Vedic injunction that no one in sannyas life can have any kind of relationship with women. But what is the position of a woman who is led by her husband? She is entrusted to the son, and the son promises that he will deliver his mother from entanglement. A woman is not supposed to take sannyas. So-called spiritual societies concocted in modern times give sannyas even to women, although there is no sanction in the Vedic literature for a woman's accepting sannyas. Otherwise, if it were sanctioned, Kardama Muni could have taken his wife and given her sannyas. The woman must remain at home. She has only 3 stages of life: dependency on father in childhood, dependency on the husband in youth, and in old age dependency on the grown-up son, such as Kapila. In old age, the progress of women depends on the grown-up son. The ideal son, Kapila Muni, is assuring his father of the deliverance of his mother, so that his father may go peacefully without anxiety for his good wife. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishye Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, good morning. Thank you everybody for coming on this warm summer day. So here in this series of verses, we have Kardama Muni leaving home on his own initiative. It was his decision. It was not that Lord told him, you must leave home, you must take sannyas. No, it is his free will and his choice, and the Lord is sanctioning his choice to follow traditional Vedic way of retiring and taking sannyas. Otherwise, he had the Supreme Personality of Godhead at his home, and he could have stayed home and attained perfection. I mean, if you have a God in your house and you live home, obviously you will be delivered. But still, to show the example, Kapila Dev is taking permission from his father, and he's leaving home to show the example to all of us. But he has little worry what will happen to his wife. And Kapila Muni, his son, is assuring, don't worry, I will take care of her, and she will be delivered as well. She will attain perfection. So when one who is entangled in family affairs desires to dedicate himself fully to self-realization, he has two options, and both of them are renunciation. So first one is vanaprastha, as Prabhupada says, midway to sannyas life, but it's also a renounced order of life. And second one is sannyas. Of course, the rules for renunciations are more strict in sannyas ashram. There is a zero association of opposite sex. And women alone, they are not given sannyas because their psychophysiological nature, their body and mind are not well suited for that. Being weaker gender, they need protection, which is not there in sannyas ashram. Sannyas is supposed to be fearless. He goes alone, travels around the world, and he depends only on God to protect him. For ladies, that would be very difficult. But ladies, they have option of vanaprastha ashram in regard to renunciation, together with their husband, or in some cases, some other arrangement where they are given shelter and protection, they can be in this vanaprastha ashram. So now I want to go to some examples of husband and wife living home together for the purpose of self-realization. One of the most famous that we have in Bhagavatam is Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari. We know that Dhritarashtra, whole life he was blind, and his chaste wife Gandhari, when she got to know that her future husband, she never saw him before, when she got to know that her future husband will be blind, she didn't want to be superior to him, so she blindfolded herself. And whole life she kept this blindfold without using her eyesight, although she had a healthy eyesight. So after Kurukshetra war, we know what happened, and that all Kauravas, they were killed, all the sons of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they were grave stricken. Still they stayed in the palace of Maharaj Yudhishthira. And at that time, Vidura came back home after many, many years of Tirthayatra, of pilgrimage, just to deliver his brother, because he knew that Dhritarashtra was very much conditioned, and if he continues like this, if he dies in this consciousness, it's not going to be a good future for him. So he comes back and he preaches. He preaches to Dhritarashtra. He says, your father, brother, well-wishers, they're all dead and passed away. And you yourself, you have passed a major portion of your life. And now you are invalid. Not only that you cannot see, but you can hardly walk or do anything on your own. And now you cannot even hear. You became hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened. Your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose. And you're coughing a lot of mucus. And then Vidura says, he says, oh, how powerful are the hopes of a living being to continue his life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog and eating remnants of food given by Bhima. So these are very sharp words. You are like a dog and eating remnants given by Bhima, who killed all your sons. And then he tells him, there is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on charity of those whom you try to kill. Because Dhritarashtra tried to kill all 5 Pandavas, and now he's living in their home. This is very humiliating. So these words are like a thunderbolt acting on Dhritarashtra's heart. And they were so powerful, they immediately cut the knot of material attachments in Dhritarashtra's heart. So immediately after hearing this sermon of Vidura, he leaves home and he sets towards the Himalayas. And he doesn't look behind or where the Gandhari is. No, he didn't care about Gandhari. He just left without caring, without telling her. But because she was there when Vidura was preaching and she saw what's happening, she decides to live with him. She goes with him and he follows him. And next day when Maharaj Yudhishthira, when he wakes up, his aunt and uncle, they're not there, and he's very worried and he doesn't know where they are. He's lamenting. At that stage, Narada Muni comes and he informs him the situation that they left. They left towards the Himalayas. And he's giving prediction, in 5 days from now on, this Dhritarashtra, your uncle, he will attain liberation because he's very determined now and he's practicing Ashtanga Yoga. So he will attain liberation. So don't worry about him. And the wife, your aunt, Gandhari, she will enter, when Dhritarashtra leaves home, she will set his body on fire, and she will enter the fire, and she will attain the same destination as him. So this was the behavior of a chaste wife. And Srila Prabhupada comments in a praiseworthy way about Gandhari's chastity, and he compares her to Lakshmiji Sita Devi, who was daughter of a great king, and she also followed her great husband Ramachandra to the forest. And he says, Prabhupada says in the purport, I'm quoting, instructions for the renounced order of life were imparted by Dhritarashtra to Dhritarashtra by Vidura, and Gandhari was by the side of her husband. But he did not ask her to follow because he was at that time fully determined, like a great warrior. So he decided to start alone, but the chaste lady, Gandhari, decided to follow her husband till the last moment. So a sannyasi is considered, now he gives the example, a sannyasi is considered to be a dead man civilly, and therefore his wife becomes a civil widow without connection with her former husband. So Maharaj Dhritarashtra did not deny his faithful wife, and she followed her husband at her own risk. So it was Gandhari's own risk to follow him, but because she was so determined and chaste, she followed him, and she also attained exalted destination. And we have also example of Pandavas themselves, who also leave home in exemplary way. If you remember, when Arjuna came back to Dwaraka, he described to Maharaj Yudhishthira the end of the Yadu dynasty and departure of Lord Krishna. And when Maharaj Yudhishthira understood that Lord Krishna left, he decided to go back home, back to Godhead. And who was present at that moment when Arjuna was giving this description to Maharaj Yudhishthira? It was Kunti Devi, the mother of five Pandavas. She was overhearing Arjuna's description, and when she heard it, Prabhupada Bhagavatam describes, she engaged in devotional service of the transcendental personality of Godhead with the full attention, and thus gained a release from the course of material existence. So she left everything, Kunti Devi. It's not described whether she left Paras or not, but it's described that she fully absorbed herself in devotional service and attained the spiritual world. And Maharaj Yudhishthira himself, first he made arrangements for the continuation of the kingdom. He enthroned Maharaj Parikshit, and also he enthroned son of Aniruddha, Vajra, as the king of Mathura. And then he performed Prajapatya sacrifice, yagya, for quitting household life. And then he just left home. He didn't look left and right. He didn't look whether his brothers follow or not. He didn't look whether Draupadi and other his wives, he had few wives. He didn't look about them. He just left. And his brothers, being similarly advanced as him, they also left. And it's described that they all, together with Draupadi, who also followed them without being asked to follow, she just followed on her own. And it's described they all attained spiritual world in the very same bodies. They didn't even have to change the bodies. This is Bhagavatam description. In Mahabharata, we have slightly different description where they all leave, 5 of them. 6 of them, Draupadi is following 5 of them, and there is a dog also following them, and there is a description how first Draupadi falls, and they just continue, and then one by one they're falling, and at the end, only Yudhishthira and dog are left, and then the demigods actually test him that the dog was Yamaraj, and then Maharaj Yudhishthira is promoted to Swarga, where he meets all his brothers. But this is Mahabharata description, but we prefer Bhagavatam description that they all went straight to Goloka Vrindavan in the very same bodies. So Prabhupada is using this example to compare them to modern leaders. He says, modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life, even if they are old enough. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, as ideal king, voluntarily retired from active administrative life to prepare himself for the next life. Everyone's life must be so arranged that at the last stage of life, say at least the last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to devotional service of the Lord to attain the highest perfection of life. So this is must for everybody. Last 15 to 20 years, a person, man or woman, whoever he is, he should arrange his life in such a way that he can absolutely devote it to devotional service. Otherwise, the future might not be bright. And Prabhupada describing how Draupadi, Bhagavatam describing, Draupadi also saw her husbands without caring for her. See, they didn't care for her while leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, attained the same results as their husbands. So Subhadra was the wife of Arjuna, and Draupadi was also common wife of all 5 Pandavas. When they saw their husbands leaving, they also fully engaged in devotional service and attained the goal of life. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, when flying in an airplane, one cannot take care of other airplanes. When you're in one airplane, you cannot take care of other airplanes. So everyone has to take care of his own plane. And if there is any danger, no other plane can help another plane. But help can be given while one is on the ground, before flying. So training and instructions can be given before the moment of death. At the moment of death, everybody has to fly his own airplane. So Draupadi had 5 husbands, and no one asked Draupadi to come. Srila Prabhupada comments, Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the wives also got the same result of their husband, meaning both Draupadi and Subhadra. Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakur, he says that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although Subhadra's name is not mentioned, they got the same result. Let's look at some other examples of what wife did after their husbands left home. We have a famous example of Vishnu Priya Devi, of second wife of Gaura Sundar, Lord Gaura Sundar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He took sannyas when he was only 24. And how old Vishnu Priya was? Anybody knows? 16 only. In modern days terms, she would be still considered a child. She was 16 only. Vishnu Priya Devi, she is considered Bhu Shakti of the Lord. All Vishnu Tattva expansions of the Lord, they have 3 energies. Shri, Lakshmi Priya. First wife was Shri Shakti, while Vishnu Priya was Bhu Shakti of the Lord. And third Shakti is called Nila or Lila, and Navaridham is considered Lord's Nila or Lila Shakti. So what did Vishnu Priya Devi do? She stayed with Mother Sachi. And how did she live? She had 2 clay pots. One pot was filled with rice, another one was empty. So she would chant one Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And take 1 grain of rice and put in another pot. So she would chant like this from early morning to late afternoon. So whatever rice was collected in that other pot, she would cook that at the end of her chanting and offer to the deity of Gaura Sundar, in front of whom she was chanting. She was sitting in front of the Meshra Mahaprabhu, famous deity that is now in Navadvip. And she would offer to Mahaprabhu deity. And there were two devotees associated with Mahaprabhu, Sri Vamshivadan Thakur and Ishan Thakur, who took care of Vishnu Priya Devi and Mother Shachi. Vamshivadan Thakur, he lived in present-day Navadvip, in Koladvip. And when Vishnu Priya Devi left the world, he took this deity of Mahaprabhu, the Meshwar Mahaprabhu, and he took him to the present place where the deity is located. So this is some examples of ladies who got protection in some way after their husband left. So Vishnu Priya Devi, she didn't have father to take care of her. She didn't have also husband at home. So Vamshivadan Thakur and Vishnu and Ishan Thakur, they took care of her. But in modern age, we have a lot of challenges. It's very nice to say, yeah, ladies should stay at home, and husband or father or son will take care of her. But what if there is no son to take care? Who will take care? And what if there are no well-wishers as Vamshivadan Thakur or Ishan Thakur? So it's an anomaly of the modern age where ladies are often left unprotected when they are widows. You know that Vrindavan is known as the city of widows. This is one of the descriptions of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan city, at any moment there is a 15 to 20,000 widows, hailing from different areas of India, mostly from West Bengal, some from Orissa, some from Assam, some from Madhya Pradesh, but 75% they say it's from West Bengal. And often these widows, they are abandoned by their kins and relatives once they lose their husbands, because relatives, they think, oh, it's expensive to maintain a widow. Also, there is some notion that widows are inauspicious and everything will be ruined in a home if a widow stays there. So they'll tell their mothers or mothers-in-law, you please go to Vrindavan. There you will be well taken care. Krishna is there. Krishna will take care of you. So in this way, they are lured to go to Vrindavan. And many of them live in Vrindavan on the streets by begging, which is quite unfortunate. Some of them, they find some ashrams where they're given shelter. There are even some government shelters where supposedly taken care of. They might get, 1,000, if they're lucky, they might get 1,000 rupees a month as a government pension. And many of them engage in kirtan in different temples and ashrams. So this is the modern world reality. So it's easy to say that women should be protecting and that they should be under somebody's care in all stages of life. But if they're not, they have to somehow take care of themselves. And in many cases, Krishna is helping and protecting even such ladies. Some arrangement is made there. Also in ISKCON, we don't really have any system in place that would take care of these ladies who are left without protection, which is also unfortunate. Hopefully in the future, some arrangement can be made. So by design, the body and mind of women is not very suitable for harsh austerities accompanying a renounced order of life. And that's why they are not supposed to take sannyas. But still, there are some historical exemptions to this rule. We have examples of some Vaishnavi ladies who lived very austere lives and renounced life. Even whole life of some of them was very renounced. One such example is famous Ganga Mata Goswamini, 17th century sadhvi. She was born around 1601 and lived, you won't believe, 120 years till 1720. A description of her life was found in Haridas Das Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidharma. and also one disciple of Saraswati Thakur, Sundaranda Vidyanod, in his Shikri Kshetra, he gives description of her life. So her original name was Sachi Devi. She was born in one area of Bangladesh, Puntia, called Puntir. And her father, he was wealthy zamindar, some say king. It was a zamindar or Raja. His name was Naresh Narayan. So from the very early age, she was interested only in Krishna Bhakti. Nothing else was interesting to such a small girl. And she was completely indifferent to family life, while other girls play with toys and dolls. She was worshipping the deities. And when she came to the marriageable age, her parents, they wanted to marry her, but she refused. She said, I will not accept any mortal husband. And they could not do anything. They could not do anything to change her mind. So when her parents left body, she left on pilgrimage. First she went to Puri, then she went to Vrindavan Dham, and in Vrindavan she met Haridas Pandit Goswami, who was Pujari of Govindaji in Radha Govinda Mandir. He's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami as a disciple of Anantacharya, associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And she came to Govindaji and she begged Haridas Pandit Goswami for initiation. First, he was very hesitant, knowing that she is coming from a rich family. But when he saw her renunciation and her determination to engage in bhakti, he initiated her. And after initiation, she engaged in intense bhajan. And she was going from Madhukari, door to door begging, like man renunciates do. After some time, her guru, he gave her instruction to go to Radhakund and recite in Radhakund together with another renounced lady, Lakshmi Priya Devi, who was known to chant 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs of Harinam. So two of them recited at Radhakund and did bhajan, and they did Govardhan Parikrama every day. 1 Govardhan Parikrama every day and chanting lakhs of Harinam. So after several years of practice like this, her guru, Haridas Goswami, he sent her to Purushottam Kshetra, to Jagannath Puri, with the instruction to recover the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who at that time had fallen into disrepair. It was crumbling because it was almost 100 years past since Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya lived there. So that was instruction to her. So what did she do when she came to Puri? She accepted this order as her heart and soul. She went to Puri and she took Kshetra Sannyas. This is the vow never to leave the Kshetra, the holy place, the Dham. Do we know anybody else of Mahaprabhu's associates who had a Kshetra Sannyas? Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, he also took Kshetra Sannyas vow. So she lived there in the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house and worshipped the Damodar Shalagram Shila that was present there. And she also did Bhagavat Katha. In Vrindavan, she studied Bhagavatam and she became very proficient. So she did Bhagavat Katha, recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and her explanations of Bhagavatam were so exciting and so glorious that thousands of people came to listen to her. And even the king of Orissa, Mukunda Dev, he came to listen to her Bhagavat lectures. And at one point, Sachi Devi, she got desire to go and take bath in Ganga, because there was some occasion for Ganga Snan. But because she was obliged by her Kshetra Sannyas vow, she could not leave. And she had a dream that one night where Lord Jagannath instructed her to go to Shweta Ganga, which is just next to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, and take bath there. So when she was taking bath at midnight there, the Ganga, Shweta Ganga, became overflooded the banks and took her and delivered her to the Jagannath Mandir, carried her all the way to Jagannath Mandir, to the inner sanctum where the Lord Jagannath deities was stationed. And when the pujaris in the morning opened the door, they noticed her there and they thought she came as a thief to steal something. So they arrested her. But king of Orissa, Mukunda, they had a dream. And in a dream, Lord Jagannath appeared to him and told him, please, release her immediately. She's a great devotee. So king immediately ordered her to be released. And as a matter of atonement, he begged Diksha, he begged initiation of her. So initiated both him and these pandas from the temple. So this is one example how even ladies can live very, very austere life, although it's a rare example. But it's illustrating the point that Vaishnavas, devotees of Krishna, they can be born in any race, in any caste, or any gender. And they should still be worshipable because they're Vaishnavas. So there are also other examples of women who attain the supreme destination. For example, in the Bhagavatam, we have this wife of Yagya Brahmanas who more advanced than their husbands, and they were pure devotees of Krishna. And then we have also example of prostitute that was delivered by Haridas Thakur. When she was initiated by Haridas Thakur and got instruction from him to engage in bhajan, what did she do? She gave all her possessions away. She just built a small hut and had a tulsi plant in front of her. Of the tulsi plant, she chanted 3 lakhs of holy name all day. And everybody was coming and bringing presentations to her. So she also lived a very renounced life. So it's not completely impossible for a lady to live a renounced life, but it's rare. But by power of pure bhakti, everything is possible. All these bodily, social, customary, hereditary, or ecclesiastical, institutional norms can be overcome if sincere soul engages in pure devotional service. Even animal, what to speak about, ladies, even animal can achieve the supreme destination. So this is clearly pointed by Gita Mahi Partavya Bhashrita Ye Pisyu Papa Yonaya Striya Vaishyas Tata Shudras Tepi Yanti Param Gatim. All those who take shelter in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, caste, they will attain supreme destination. So thus, whether we are men, women, human, or something else, Brihasta, Brahmachari, Grihasta, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, whatever we are, we should become serious at the last stage of our life. Let's say that we are already 50 now, that means since average lifespan is around 75 to 80, that means that we already have only 1/3 of life left. So we should become very serious to cultivate Krishna consciousness without any deviation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, Grihe tako, vane tako, sada hari bole dako, sukhe dukhe, bolo nako, vadane hari naam khorore. So whether you're a householder or sannyasi, constantly chant Hari, Hari. Do not forget this chanting, whether you are in a happy condition or distressful one. Sometimes we think, oh, I have to be in good condition and happy to chant. No, even if you're in distressful condition, you should chant. Just fill your lips with the Harinam. Jivana hoilo shesh, na bajile harishikesh. Bhakti vinoda padesh, ek bar naam rase mathore. Because this life is going to be shesh, finished very soon. And you will be very sorry if you didn't engage if you didn't worship Hrishikesh, na bajile Hrishikesh. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he showed also in his last portion of his life, I think it was more than 10 or maybe even 15 years, I forgot, but when he completely, closed himself off in Swananda Sukhada Kunj, and whole day he was just chanting and meditating on Radha Krishna pastimes. He had one servant, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Krishnadas who took care of him. But otherwise, he had no social interaction in these last 10 years of his life. He left in 1914, and I think he took this Babaji Vesh in 1905 or something like that. So do we need to leave home? But leaving home means not leaving some house. Leaving home means leaving situation where we are entangled in material thoughts, in material affairs, material endeavors. So leaving home means leaving material consciousness. So coming to the holy Dham, coming to Mayapur or Vrindavan or Purushottam Kshetra Dham means that we leave our material attachments and propensities behind and fully engage ourselves in devotional service without any deviation. Sometimes we come to the holy place, but we are still, we leave one material situation behind, but then we get entangled in another material situation, another material enterprise or business in the holy Dham. Then our coming to the holy Dham is losing the point. People think, well, I have to save enough money for the old age, but that logic is faulty, because it will never be enough. It will never be enough. I know one friend who last 10, 15 years, he's saying, I just wanted to fully dedicate, I need little more, I just need little more. So he's investing in this business, that business, mostly losing, sometimes gaining something. But it's never ending. And it will never end unless we become serious and say, now it's enough. Now I'm old enough, and I have enough, and now I have to engage fully in devotional service, because that can come at any moment. This world is dangerous. Just look now how many times World War III is mentioned in the media. Just 10 years ago, nobody was mentioning it. Now, and every day you can find some news, somebody saying, oh, this is a possibility. So possibility is definitely there. And even if there is no third world war, that can come at any moment, even if we are not that old. So better to become serious now, when, whatever our age is. Okay, this was something that I wanted to convey. If you have any points on these questions, yes, Janmashtami Prabhu, is there a mic? The mic is there, just in front of Mridanga, if anybody can give it to him.
In the beginning of the class, you were saying how sannyas, one has to make that decision himself. But then in the early days, sometimes Srila Prabhupada told devotees, you take sannyas. I guess because Apadharma, it was an emergency to spread Krishna consciousness worldwide as soon as possible.
Yes, for preaching purposes, Prabhupada was taking risk, giving sannyas to many young men in their 20s. But he himself said, I'm aware that they are not qualified, but I'm taking risks for the sake of spreading the Sankirtan movement. And we know that many of them, if not most of them, actually fell from the sannyas ashram. It was premature for them. But even if they fell, Prabhupada was very forgiving, and he encouraged them to continue in Krishna consciousness in another ashram that is suitable for them. That's why when he was writing 8th canto, there is that purport of a Gajendra fighting a crocodile. So in purport, Prabhupada is saying, if one is not well situated in a renounced order of life, he can live peacefully in Grihastha life and make progress. This was the analogy of Gajendra elephant who was fighting the water, which was not his natural environment, while crocodile was in the water, which was his natural environment. So Prabhupada was saying, if sannyas ashram is not your natural environment, then live in a Grihastha ashram, but fight Maya. That was the point, to fight Maya. So yeah, it was an emergency situation. Prabhupada wanted to spread Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, nowadays we are much more strict. It's not that easy to get sannyas ashram. Now there's so many committees and rules and regulations that one has to pass in order to be given sannyas. So, and this is formal sannyas. But even without accepting formal sannyas, one can be renounced in the heart, in whatever ashram he is. If he is fully dedicated, like a Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he never really took sannyas. Okay, he took this Babaji Vesh, which is considered sannyas, at the last portion of his life. But even before that, he was fully absorbed in Grihastha ashram by doing his magistrate job and preaching. He was fully dedicated to Krishna. There was no deviation. So for him, there was actually no need even to take sannyas. If one is fully dedicated, he doesn't need to formally take any ashram. These are varnashrama rules that are meant for materialistic people who are most of their lives engaged in material enterprises. So for them it's a must to renounce these material activities and fully engage in devotional service, or to dedicate the last portion of their life to spiritual life. But if somebody is already fully dedicated in whatever ashram he is, then there is no question for him of this ashram or that ashram.
One thing is that most of those sannyasis that fell down, some of the original ones, because I think of the disrepute they experienced in the movement, that they just kind of didn't stay active. Seems that way,
Yes, it looks like we were too harsh on them, without considering that they took a risk for the preaching's sake and on Prabhupada's order. So it was not that much of their fault, actually. They were just, young boys. Just imagine somebody 20 years old, and he came from some hippie background, and he's a devotee 2-3 years or 5 years, and now he's given sannyas and became a guru also. And you expect him to be Paramahamsa? It's unreasonable. It was natural, actually, what happened. But we learned on the mistakes from the past. So nowadays, I don't think we are giving anybody sannyas at the age of 20. So we learn from the history.
Trying to think of the verse where even if one commits abominable activities, he should be Shipram Bhavati Paramatma.
Yeah, he is saying the verse from Bhagavad Gita, even if one commits abominable activities, how does it go? Anybody? Apichet sudhacharo bhajate mamanhanya bhak. Yeah, even if he commits abominable activities, if he continues devotional service, he's considered saintly. Anybody else is Prabhu in the back here?
Yeah, what is the explanation that you can give to the family of the wife when the devotee, the grihastra, the husband is leaving? The devotee will understand probably the philosophy, but the wife is not alone. She has sisters, parents, and also the grihastras that they've been there in Krishna consciousness for many years. They're supposed to be very advanced. So what is the main reason we're leaving the wife when she already is old anyway? She's 60, 70. What attraction should be in there? If we are very advanced, ready when we're going to take pranaprastha sanyas. But the main question is, what is the explanation that we can give their family of the wife and not just leave her alone there?
To give a family of a wife. Well, if they're devotees, they will understand. If they are not devotees, it will be very difficult to explain them, and we may struggle to give proper explanation. But definitely one is supposed to take care that the wife will be protected before leaving it. If he really wants to leave, if he thinks it's good for his spiritual life to disentangle and leave, he has to make arrangements that the wife is taken care of, not left alone, not left without any money. She has to be taken care of. Of course, her parents, they may not understand, but you pray to Krishna that they understand. Explanation is you give them example from the history, you give them example from the Shastra, if they accept Shastra, and see that this is the tradition. And I want to follow this tradition. I want, to fully dedicate myself to spiritual life, and that wife will be benefited by that, by staying home. But it will be immature and irresponsible to leave her alone without any protection. So that's why you have to make some arrangement for her. And you have also to get her agreement, actually. You have to get her agreement. She has to give blessings. Otherwise, if she doesn't, then it might not be so easy for you to continue in the next ashram. Srila Prabhupada, how he left, we have that famous tea story when she sold Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, and that was a drop that finally Prabhupada decided, now I'm leaving. But he took care, actually. He took care. It's not that he didn't care. He made some arrangements that they didn't starve. His family and sons and wife, they didn't starve. He had some business and something, and even during his sannyas days, sometimes he was telling his disciples to help the Gaur Mohande, to help him with something. So he was still thinking on his previous family, although he didn't have any association with them. So yeah, we should be responsible. Yes, Vasudeva Prabhu, you have something?
Yes. Did Prabhupada's wife consent? Did she bless him to take sannyas?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. So, yeah, I know. You said we have to get blessings. Well, in some circumstances, blessings might not be required if you are ordered by higher authority. That means Prabhupada had the dreams of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur coming to him repeatedly and again, order him to take sannyas. So this is higher order. So in this case, he didn't need the blessings. So if you get order from your guru or Lord somehow or other, you can leave it without the blessing. Prabhu, next to you, he had something. Next to you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, thank you for your class. In one part of your class, there is something you said that actually got my attention. You were mentioning how there is widows in Vrindavan, that they become widows because for some family reasons, family relatives cannot take care of them, and they end in the holy dam. It can be Vrindavan, it can be Navadvip or Puri. So, and sometimes these ladies are beggars on the street, and we might get approached by them. So I was thinking, because sometimes we go in the dam and we get approached by many people, beggars. It can be ladies or no ladies. And sometimes we show some kind of disrespect or some kind of no good attitude. So actually what you said really got my attention, because we gotta be careful how we deal, especially with those type of people in the dam. That was just a comment, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Definitely, we should not disrespect even the dumb dogs. What to speak about, widowed ladies who are there, and some of them are Vaishnavas. Some of them chant. They have tilak and chant the holy name and engage in kirtan.
And actually, we don't know who are we getting in touch with, especially in the dam. So
definitely, I agree completely. We should be very respectful. Yes, Prabhu, there.
Hare Krishna, thank you for your class. My question is, as Bhagavad Gita slok is, Ananta Vijayang Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthira Nakula Sahadevasya Sugasa Mani Puspaka Kasyacha Paramesasya Sikhondi Cha Maharato Drishtatumna Viratasya Sattiki Cha Parajito Drupada Daupadyasya Sarvasya Pithipade Saubhadrasya Mahabhava Sangana Duttam Pithaka. What do you mean by this slok?
Can you read English also of that?
Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1, slok number 16, 17 and 18.
Can you read translation?
Meaning by this slok.
I couldn't even
Explain.
I couldn't even hear properly, Shloka. You're saying Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1? Anybody can find it and read the English of this? 16, 17, and 18? Okay, until they find. Prabhu, another question.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, regarding Prabhu's question, taking permission from wife, actually, we see that Ramanujacharya, he took sannyas in very different way. He did not take permission.
Yeah, he also had a higher order,
Okay.
higher inspiration. So that's also bona fide way. That's also bona fide way. Anybody found this shloka and can read the English of it? Thank you, Prabhu. So King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, and Ananta Vijaya, and Nakul and Sahadev blew the Sagosh and Mani Pushpaka. The great archer of King of Kashi, the great fighter Shikandi, Drishtaduma, Virata, incomparable Satyaki, Drupada, and sons of Draupadi, and others, O king. Such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. So what you don't understand in this shloka, this is just a description that they all blew their conch shells. What is not clear to you here?
Okay, ठीक.
Anyway, I mean, sometimes we ask questions just for the sake of asking. It's okay. I think we will stop here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.